What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Blank Online here today to chat with you more about some Call of Duty Warzone, and today we're talking about Warzone Season 4. So we're talking about a new map potentially, we're talking about some secret bunkers, we're talking about the Fortnite-like story that's going on in Warzone right now as we speak, and more to do with Season 4. Now, I'm going to first off talk about some of the new things that the Raven creative director Amos Hodge talked about. He says that there'll be new loot for players to find in Warzone Season 4, including new field upgrades, and he says that some loot will be added that extends beyond what's available in loadouts, and there will be new modes. Now this is interesting, because what they did with Season 3 is they changed up the drop weapons from Season 2, and that was all well and good. Seems like we're going to have the same thing happen here in Season 3, but it looks like they're also adding loot that we won't be able to choose in our loadout. Every single weapon, attachment, and really everything in the game can be found in our loadout. So all your M4 with all your attachments and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see there be loot that you can't actually get through loadouts. I guess that loadouts are one of those things that some people at least find is a problem in Warzone, because they think that it adds, I guess, an overpowered and unbalanced element into the Battle Royale, and I guess it makes sense because no other Battle Royale has had loadout drops where you can choose exactly what weapon you're going to have, and I guess that randomness of Battle Royale kind of gets removed when you add loadout drops into it. Personally, I think that it adds a pretty decent and new and innovative element into the Battle Royale sort of recipe, I guess is the best way you can kind of put it. But I think it's interesting to see that Infinity Ward and Raven is looking to add more things that you can't actually have in loadouts, which is really, really cool. In terms of new field upgrades, I think that's really interesting as well. I saw something on Reddit where someone suggested a tactical ladder so that you can, I guess, move into the top of buildings and that sort of stuff a lot easier. I guess it would help when you're at the bottom of dam trying to get to the top of dam, or when you're at the bottom of a mountain and you're trying to get to the top of the mountain. Like, there's a lot of sort of elevation is really key here in Warzone, and if you have elevation, you're like high ground, like essentially you should be able to win all your gunfights against people who are on low ground essentially. And I think that if that Reddit user, if his suggestion or her suggestion were to come into the light, I think a tactical ladder would be quite interesting, and I don't think it'd be overpowered at all. I think it, if anything, balance the way that you play the game and balance those sort of gunfights between high ground and low ground a bit more than it is now, and I think that'd be something really, really cool. I don't know if they're going to remove some of the field upgrades. I don't know, maybe trophy system gets removed, but then again, trophy system is something that could be really, really good. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have to wait and see when those new field upgrades come out. So in terms of new things to loot in Warzone, I think we're going to be in a pretty good place here in Season 4. Let's talk about secret loot bunkers. Now I'm going to play a video for you right now. This was found in the in-game files of Modern Warfare, and as you can see, it's one of the bunkers opening up. We saw in the early days of Season 4, we saw the red access cards, and those have since been removed and we can no longer find them, but those are in the game. Maybe they were released too early. Maybe they were meant to be released with Season 4 when these loot bunkers or these bunkers were meant to be accessible, but throughout the whole map of Verdansk, you can find those bunkers, and sometimes you can put in passwords. I'm fairly 100%, maybe 99% sure that these red access cards are going to be used to unlock those bunkers, and the animation you just saw on your screen will play. What is going to be inside these bunkers? Do they relate to the story in any way? We're going to have to wait and see. Personally, I think they're going to be maybe high tier loot bunkers, but then again, to contradict myself, if they are high tier loot bunkers, what's the point in having a high tier loot bunker if you can just get your loadout? If it's going to be a high tier loot bunker, it's probably got to involve some of those loot items that are going to be beyond what's available in loadout drops, or it could play into the storyline for Warzone and for Verdansk, which is what I'm going to get into right now, because it kind of correlates. The narrative director, I guess, Infinity Ward's Kurosaki, has clarified his comments when he was talking about Fortnite-like events in Warzone, because again, this is something that I explained when I did my video when I talked about Fortnite and Warzone having similar like events. They're completely different games. Warzone is down to earth. It's a sort of reflection of the world that we see right now. Fortnite, of course, is very fantastical. It's very fictional. It's unlike anything we'll ever see in this world. So I guess one of the main things that Infinity Ward is looking at here is creating a story for Warzone, but not taking it away from the world that's already been created by Modern Warfare. He has a quote here, and I'll read out the quote to you guys. He says, "In terms of story, we've been setting up this narrative since before Modern Warfare came out. And an important point for us is that Modern Warfare exists in a world that operates not unlike the world we live in. The same thing goes for multiplayer, Spec Ops, and Warzone. These are real-life factions that mimic the way the world and its superpowers. They have allegiances, sort of rivalries. The big what-if with Warzone is that those traditional allegiances have broken down, and someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and we, as the operators in-game, are trying to figure out what is going on and how to solve it." Now, this is interesting because it gives us a little tidbit into the kind of story that Warzone is trying to create here. And what is the most interesting thing about all of this is that we've sort of seen this story be planted throughout the cutscenes of Warzone and of the seasons of Modern Warfare. So it's interesting to see that it's been in front of our face this whole time. I guess we just had to have some sort of clarification to see that whole thing go through. So they're going to be continuously adding operators to join the fight, continuously adding people in game to help us figure out who is pulling the strings. One of the easiest things and one of the main antagonists that I can see here being Zakayev, but it could be someone above Zakayev. You've heard Zakayev be name dropped in these cutscenes. He could be the one pulling the strings behind all of these things happening in Verdansk. One of those things he talked about where traditional allegiances have been broken down. Obviously, how you have in the season 2 cutscene where Ghost is like they're shooting their own men, that sort of thing. And I think that it's really, really interesting to see how this story is going to play out. We're going to talk about the new map now, and this as well coincides here with the bunkers and the storyline and all that sort of stuff. There has been images of a new map moving away from Verdansk. Now, this isn't confirmed to be a new map. This could be a rejigged layout of Verdansk, but the layout of the map is completely different to Verdansk as well. If I can find the photo, I'll put it on the screen. I don't know if it's gone now, but I'll put it on the screen if it is. If I can still find it. There has been a new map found in the Modern Warfare in-game files. I don't think that we're going to be seeing a new map in Season 4. I believe that this probably would be something we see in Season 5. I think Season 4, we're going to see the storyline develop a lot more. We have the bunkers, we have the access cards, the new cutscene that'll come out to sort of explain the story a bit more. I think that this map is going to be coming in Season 5 if it ever does come. I think one of the things that is interesting with Warzone is that at the moment we're limited to Verdansk. Modern Warfare as a campaign and a story moves all across the world, right? So what we could be seeing here is the fight move to a different part of the world. One of the things that you possibly could find with moving to a new map is people complaining about the new map and wanting Verdansk back. But I think one of the, I guess, easiest things for Infinity Ward to do is move this story around through each season. If you're gonna have a new map, move it to the new map for Season 5. Come back to Verdansk in Season 6. Have another storyline play out through there. What we could be seeing is possibly these bunkers being used as high loot bunkers, right? But then again used in the storyline as possibly whoever is behind the scenes pulling the strings nukes Verdansk, and we have to like evacuate into the bunkers to keep ourselves safe, and then we move into the new map for Season 5, and that sort of bombing of the original map could be the start of Season 5, moving into this new map to continue the fight and to continue the story there. I think that'd be really, really cool. I think it's something that needs to happen with Warzone. I think that people are being complacent and people are starting to get bored with Verdansk because you get comfortable with your landing spot, you get comfortable with your surroundings, you know exactly what's going to be where and all that sort of stuff. And I think with the new map, it's going to add that new element, and with the old map blowing up and with the new map coming in, it's going to add that sort of hype around the community once again, because it's like, holy shit, what's happening? What's this new map? What are we doing? What are these new locations? all of this stuff. And I think it's going to be really, really interesting if we move in the direction that I think we're going to be moving with a new map in Season 5. It's going to be interesting to see the seeds planted in Season 4. Season 4 is turning out to be and looking like it's going to be a really important season for Warzone. And I'm excited to see what they do with it. It seems like we're going to get a lot of new loot. We're going to get a new high tier loot bunker. It looks like we're going to have more story elements happening. We're going to finally see what that story is. Season 4 looks like it's going to be really, really cool. And if we get this new map, Season 5 is going to be even better. But that's all I have for you guys for Season 4 Modern Warfare at this point in time. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, comment down below with all of the things we talked about today. The new loot items, the new field upgrades, the new map, the story elements in Warzone, everything we talked about and more. Put it in the comments down below. Let me know your opinions on them. Would you like to see us move to a new map for Season 5? Would you like us to stay in Verdansk for the rest of Warzone? Let me know all that stuff in the comments down below. Click subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on my next video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.
Pull up in the gold, I'm leading. But them other man need feeding. I don't wanna go Bombay. Them I don't know what I do when I go from Beeling. Leading the pack in black and I'm on with a bag. Snapping with a phone and dab. Boss up a man with a duster. Put him in the drip and sip blockbuster. Win, 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 that's the only ammo. Ring, 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 I reply with NO. Call me Leno, how the hot.